Hello, this is Mr. Tonsoni with episode 2 of College Game Day from Delphi Bracketology. Thanks to Hoosier Huddle and Sammy Jacobs for sponsoring us, Robin Teller for breakfast. Our host today is Mr. Schuler. Over to you.
Brian, welcome back to Studio 1A and Delphi Game Day. I'm your host, Ty Schuler, and I'm here with my panel of analysis this morning. Daniel Jakes, Cole Rickles, and you know him, Mr. Dave Gilbert on the end. We're going to get started right away today. We're going to do kind of a lightning round here for our first 3 games featuring our Indiana team. Here we are, our first game. We got 3 Indiana schools here playing. First game, Indiana State at Purdue. I got to go with Purdue on this one. Home crowd. I'm going to go with Purdue.
I like Purdue as well to come back off a loss to Marshall.
I also have Purdue winning this.
If Purdue cuts down on the turnovers from last week, I see them winning big.
Next game, we got Florida International at Indiana. If Indiana's defense can hold up, I think their offense can score enough points. Indiana at home.
I got the Hoosiers in this one.
I'd say Indiana wins if they step up their defense.
I think IU's porous defense returns some starters back from suspension. That should be enough to win a shootout.
And the last game, Notre Dame and at Virginia. Notre Dame proves they can win on the road. They can win in a big-time atmosphere. Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, too much for the Cavaliers.
I like Notre Dame running away in this one.
I'd have to say Notre Dame as well if they stick to their passing game.
I think quarterback Malik Zaire and a stingy defense will be enough for the Irish to win big on the road.
Okay, moving right along. Next 3 games, we're going to start out with Cole Rickles going to bring us here with the Oklahoma-Tennessee matchup.
All right, Oklahoma at Tennessee. I say Oklahoma comes out with the win. They'll have to stick to their air raid offense from their QB Baker Mayfield. But I also see their running game being really great. I also think that their defense needs to step it up, and their secondary has to be able to contain Dobbs and Tennessee. I think Starling, Shepard, and Joe Mixon will come out as 2 great wide receivers, and as long as Shepard stays healthy during the game.
I'll have to disagree with you, my fellow colleague. I know Tennessee's defense struggled last week against Bowling Green, giving up 30 points and over 500 yards, but they do have a recipe to keep that air raid attack offense off the field. They do have 2 solid running backs, Jalen Hurd and Alvin Contreras, that rushed for 267 yards and 5 touchdowns last week. So if they can keep the ball on the ground, they can keep that offense off the field. I see Tennessee winning.
What do you think, Tennessee, Oklahoma?
Baker Mayfield faces his first true test as a Sooner. I think Oklahoma's offense proves to be too much for Tennessee's defense in the end.
Well, I got to go with Tennessee on this one. 95,000 fans, volunteers rooting for Tennessee at their home stadium. I think Tennessee will get the close win in that one. We're going to go here with Oregon State at Michigan. This is going to be a big matchup for the Wolverines. I think, but them playing at home, their quarterback, Jake Reddick, 27-43 last week. He had a great week, even though they didn't get the win, but he had a great week. 17 carries by Devon Smith. He's got a great back, got some great receivers. I think the home fans up there, what do? Pack in about 1 million people up there in a big house. I think they're going to probably come ahead and get the win, even though Oregon State, it's a nice team out of the Pac-12. They're very good. They're led by Seth Collins, their quarterback, and he does a lot of the carrying work as well. He's just kind of like another back in the backfield. He had 17 carries for 152 yards last week. Played really well. They share the ball around. You got Woods in the back, Brown in the back. Both had over 10 carries last week, so it's going to be a great game. I think Coach Harbaugh is going to get a win this week at Michigan. Tough place to play. I'm going to give it to Michigan.
Oregon State looks to pound. Jake Rudock threw 3 interceptions last week. Seth Collins proves to be too much for the Beavers. They stunned Michigan at home.
I'll have to go with Michigan winning this as long as Jake Reddick comes out and he actually performs his game.
Seth Collins is a true freshman for Oregon State, starting in the big house. I think that's going to prove to be too much. I think Michigan wins a close one.
And the last game we got here of this 3-game series is LSU at Mississippi State. Does LSU have a little problem since they only got to play 5 minutes in their first game there?
Yeah.
Jakes?
LSU didn't get a tune-up for freshman quarterback Brandon Harris. Last week's game got canceled. They got a tough slate of games these next couple weeks, Mississippi State and then Auburn. I see Mississippi State, Dak Prescott, too much for the Tigers.
I'd have to agree here and say Mississippi State also takes the win with not having that much experience or LSU not having that much experience.
I look for LSU to pound the ball on the ground with Leonard Fournette and get a huge road victory in the SEC West.
Ooh, that's a tough call. Tough call. Good, huge road victory. I got to go with the home team on this. Mississippi State Bulldogs. I think they're going to have. It's a big game. It's an SEC game. I think they're going to bring their best. And I think last week not getting that first game under the belt is going to hurt LSU. And our last game, it's our marquee game. We're going to throw this over to Mr. Gilbert. Oregon at Michigan State. Big game this week for the Spartans. What do you think?
This is the first big matchup of the season with two teams that have the potential to be in the playoff at the end of the season. Both teams, I think, got caught looking ahead next week. They both struggled, especially defensively, in their first games. But Oregon has definitely found their quarterback in Vernon Adams, and Michigan State has a solid proven winner with Connor Cook. I think the Spartans have the revenge factor. They led late in the third quarter last year at Eugene, but let that one slip away. I think that the Spartans will win in a shootout, 42-41.
Michigan State looks to reverse roles from a year ago. They lost to Oregon and Eugene, as Mr. Gilbert said. Connor Cook proves to be the better quarterback out of the matchup. Michigan State defends their turf.
I'd say Michigan State wins here. Looking at Oregon's defense, I don't think it can keep up with Michigan State. Michigan State needs to keep possession of the ball, and I also think on defense, Michigan State needs to pass rush Vernon Adams, and I think that'll make him cause a lot of errors.
I have to tend to agree. I think you're playing Sparty at Spartan Stadium. I think you're going to have a big-time matchup here. I think it's going to be a very, very good game. But again, I don't think that Oregon's defense up front can handle the big guys of Michigan State's line, and I think Michigan State's going to run away with this one in a close one. And now, this is all we got for today. Thank my analysts for being here today, and we're going to send this back over to Mr. Tonsoni to wrap it up.
Thanks, guys. Excellent job. This is Delphi Bracketology with Week 2 episode of Game Day. Again, thanks to all of you for watching. Send us your Game Day signs. We'll try to put them up. Guest selector next week. Be looking forward to that. Thank you for watching.